Good morning, this is Jeff from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Thursday, the 23rd of April. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts, and I'm not here to issue trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers at chartingthemarkets.substack.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, great. I am wondering about a bit of retracement here. I mean, we do have in the short term a what kind of looks like on ES a triangle forming. I am wondering about a little retest of this high and down, but mainly I'm wondering about seeing a bit more of a pullback. We've seen a partial pullback from the current all-time high, but it hasn't quite made it as far as I would like it to get on the daily chart. If we're going to see a high soon, which I'm thinking we might, but obviously is very subject to news, then I'm thinking we could see a bit more of a pullback and then see a high retest. Obviously, this is a schedule very subject to news, but that's what I would ideally be looking for here. So I'm thinking we're forming a bull flag. We could actually form a little topping pattern and maybe pull back somewhat, but basically a retracement of the move so far before we go higher. In terms of NQ, we've not really seen much of a retracement at all. We're still making new highs, which is a bit surprising actually. As one of the things which is disrupted, as I was talking about in the post I did this morning on the big picture, is the disruption to helium supplies. Helium really is only produced as a byproduct of natural gas and is vitally important for a number of, you can't have an MRI without them, you can't make semiconductors without them. There's no obvious replacement, and it's very, very hard to boost supply. And I think a significant proportion, I think Qatar produced about 30% of world helium. A lot of their helium capacity has been knocked out in the war and won't be back online for years. So why are the Qs up more than anything else? Not quite sure. RTY, we've made it back to a support trend line here. Might be a step towards giving us a decent pattern here, because I would be inclined at this point to draw in a line here. Right. So that I think gives us a decent looking pattern on RTY, and we'll see whether that holds today. But if it doesn't, and this is patterns form with retracements and retests, and then going higher from those retests. This retracement has given us a bit to work with on this, but I'm really thinking ideally we would see a little more. So we do have a decent looking pattern there now, but it's not a lot to be working on over the main four indices that I'm watching. YM has been a little more muted than the others. I'm leaning towards seeing a retest of the all-time high here. We are close enough, don't have to see that, and obviously very subject to news, but we will see. Looking at DAX, just pulling back here, looks like a bull flag forming. The STX looks like a bull flag forming. Nikkei, little level top maybe, actually still almost at the highs. We shall see how that goes. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. Now, one thing to mention here, someone was asking whether I had a target in the 6210 area, and I said no, but actually I do have a target, which is in about the 6250 area. I think it's probably clearer on the next chart. Yes. And that's this trend line here, which is quite a strong trend line. And I am wondering if we go higher, whether that might be a target. In terms of the charts here, I was talking about a pullback which could set up some RSI 5 divergence. Really, ideally, that pullback reaches the 70 area, and we didn't quite reach it, and we fell significantly short of it. We only got down to about 80 on the Qs. On Dia, we got down to, again, just above 70. Ideally, we would see a little more retracement, and we'd make the 70 level on Dia and SPX. In terms of IWM, made it down almost to 70 as well. So if we could just go and push a little lower there, that would be nice from a structural point of view, and potentially on then retest the highs, set up some nice looking RSI 5 sell signals brewing. As it is on retests of the current highs from the last lows, we will get a series of weak RSI 5 sell signals brewing. And we will see how that goes. All right, let's have a look at the shorter term charts. And we've got, hang on, wait a second, I'm just going to check something here. We've got a second crop of sell signals which are fixed here. but not here on right. Okay, I was just checking that we didn't have an hourly RSI 14 sell signal here on SPX. We do have the RSI 14 sell signal made target, and also we made it to a very, very, very steep support trend line on SPX, and this could give us a pattern, but ideally we'd see a bit more downside and something slightly less steep in terms of the support trend line, because the support trend line this steep cannot last long at all. In terms of the cues, we've now already got a possible weak RSI 5 sell signal brewing here. We've got a weak RSI 14 sell signal fixed here, and a full size one is brewing. Because obviously this low is well above the 50 level. I'm thinking this might deliver something today. No other divergence that hasn't already made the possible near miss target. In terms of dire, retest this high, and we've got a weak RSI 5 sell signal brewing here, and obviously the RSI 14 buy signal eventually made target. We've got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed here on the hourly as well, and the RSI 14 sell signal reached the possible near miss target. All right, looking at the IWM chart, looking at the hourly chart, we have no current divergence, but we could still, on a retest of this high, set up an hourly sell signal here too. Nothing on the 15-minute chart. Looking at DAX, pulling back a bit here. We're testing a couple of big levels here. We've got the 50 DMA and the 200 DMA pretty close, but we're just about through the ribbon I was talking about a few days ago and back testing it. We could be looking at a larger move to take us back up into the retest of the high, but obviously very subject to news. In the event that we get bad news, we've now already got a daily RSI. The first we've got a decent daily RSI 5 sell signal brewing on is Nikkei. That is looking pretty good, and we've got a beautiful double top here, best of any of them. And also, Nikkei Japan is more exposed to because 80% of the oil that comes through the Strait of Hormuz actually goes to Asia. It is the main place that the Asians get their oil, so we're getting more of an impact on oil prices in Asia at the moment than we're seeing currently anywhere else. Japan is very, very exposed to that. So we shall see how that goes. All right, great. Let's have a look at DX, where we're seeing a bit of a rally here. I've actually got a daily RSI 5 buy signal fixed on the USD chart, and we may be seeing this bull, basically what looks like a bull flag, break up and head back towards the target here. In the event that we get bad news about the war, that's likely to accelerate. Not a lot to see really on Euro, GBP, possible head and shoulders forming on USD JPY, but I'm thinking we may, if we see things hot up on the war again, then I'm still looking for a retest at 162 area. USD CAD kind of looks like a bull flag, although it's a bit deep. Australian dollar, we've got a beautiful big double top here, but not really an awful lot to see. Mainly it's about what's happening on the dollar. All right, looking at bonds, ZB, I'm thinking that we're seeing a fail here at the monthly pivot at the moment, and we're probably going to be heading back to the lows soon. We shall see. On ZN, we've got what looks like a bear flag here, which has already broken down, and that's supporting the downside too. Right, looking at Brent, this was the move last Friday. This was 100 where it started, and this was 86 or so where it ended. Obviously, that's all been taken back with the market now, as obviously the declaration of peace was at best slightly premature. CL, that's all been taken back too. We're seeing a bit of a pullback this morning. I think this is on reports that the US blockade is failing. They are looking at a fairly small number of ships blockading a large area. And actually, while there was talk a couple of days ago about 2 ships being taken by the US, I think there was also pretty good intelligence that another 38 got through. So it's not an easy thing to blockade it without an awful lot more ships. So we'll see how that goes. The bottom line here is the Strait of Hormuz is still closed to most traffic. Until commercial traffic starts recovering to pre-war levels, this remains the case. On HO, we've got a 6-minute sell signal which has fixed on RBOB. which is making a new crisis high, and this is gasoline, of course. We have a potential double top set up here, but I'm not reading too much into it. NG, I'm wondering about we've already seen a bit of a rally. I'm wondering about a possible rally back into the 2.95 to 3 area. Possible little inverted head and shoulders forming here on GC. GC has been lost in space the last few days. It just doesn't know which way to go. It could head back and retest the lows. It could continue higher. Bigger picture, I've got this as a very nice looking bull flag, which is likely to go higher. But in the meantime, I've got daily sell signals fixed on daily RSI 5 sell signals fixed on gold, on silver, and on platinum. I did also have them on GDX and GDXJ, but those made target, but the ones on the metals have not. I'm wondering if that's going to deliver some more downside, possibly a low retest. On SI, this looks like a bear flag which is breaking down. So I'm wondering whether that's what we're about to see next, i.e. a retest of this low. Looking at palladium, looks like a bearish consolidation, but I wouldn't go so far as to call it a flag. It's not as well formed as that. We've got a nice looking flag on platinum, which again has broken down. On HG, we are consolidating sideways. Possible little level top setup here if it loses support, but I am wondering about an extension higher to retest this high made, I think, at the end of January. So that. We've got close enough, and I'm seriously wondering about the retest. We may see that next. All right, looking at KC. KC still looks like a bear flag forming. SB, we're seeing a bit of a rally here. Possible IHS forming and about to break up. I'm wondering about a rally further. The target for that IHS would be in about the 1450 to 1460 area. CC, beautiful bear flag channel. I'm currently holding support at the monthly pivot. If that breaks, then I'll be looking for the retest of this low here. Looking at CT. CT, we have we've seen a little bit of a pullback here. Bigger picture, we've got a double bottom that's broken up and is not close to the target here. We've got a possible 60-minute buy signal brewing, and I'm thinking that may well fix today and deliver a bit of a rally. And may well take us back to the high and just continue the uptrend. Looking at lumber, still wondering about a resumption of the downtrend. First sign would be a retest of this low here at 560 on wheat. Wheat and corn and soy all have big reversal patterns that haven't broken up yet, and I'm thinking they may well do so. But at the moment, they're just trading sideways. All right, ZL has actually broken up, but isn't really the one I'm looking at to break up. But it should break up in sympathy. So at the moment, we've broken higher. We're seeing a bit of a retracement here, and that's now reached the possible near miss target. On live cattle, we're seeing what looks like a bull flag forming, and we've got a possible weak 60-minute buy signal brewing. On HE, we have a bit of a rally here. I was saying when we got down to the 61.8% retracement of the previous trend up that we really need to see some bounce, and I'm hoping it can hold this level and resume the uptrend. We shall see how that goes. All right, great. Let's have a look at questions, of which we have none. In that case, I think that's a wrap. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Have a look at the post I wrote today because it's important. All right, cheers. Bye.